Rightio, a little bit of an ad-lib, non-live, on loose lines. Daniel Hibberd joins me, although I must say with a little bit of distorted internet coverage, all the way from Mildura. Welcome, D. Hibberd.
Hello, Paul. Yes, up in Mildura for the Trops tonight, Monday night, 12 races. So we're calling out there. Luke's having a week off, so I got the ticket to come up here, and looking forward to the night of racing up at Mildura.
I'll throw you under the bus in a minute. I want some best bets for the people because this will be going out. What time's the first tonight at Mildura?
5:38's the first.
5:38, right. We'll make sure this goes up at about 5 o'clock, which is not what we used to do, I must say. We're also joined by Tim Doherty. Firstly, Timmy, welcome to Campbell's Comments and the On Loose Lines program.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Daniel, thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure, and we keep saying this, Daniel, that we want to promote what country clubs are doing, and there's plenty going on, especially in the Riverina, and it's a very competitive time for you guys, the Christmas New Year break.
Yeah, it is. For forever, Christmas time, summertime's been the main sort of time for racing in the Riverina. We have Leighton with their Big Breeders' Plate Carnival, and Albury here at Albury New Year's Eve, and then that rolls into Tamora's Carnival of Cups and Juney's Carnival of Cups. So yeah, it's a very busy time for us, very exciting.
I was there last Friday actually. I wasn't that far at all from Juney. It's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it?
It sure is. Juney's a great part of the world. Juney and Tamora, they're real, they've still got that real old harness racing feel, and you go to those meetings, they're Carnival of Cup meetings, and it's just just trying people, the old sort of generation, and they're real, they're real harness racing towns still. It's great.
Now you've got your New Year's Eve meeting coming up, and noms close very shortly. We want to make sure that people are aware of it. Daniel, you and I have both been to it. It's just an amazing night to go to the races, isn't it?
It is. It's I was fortunate enough to call a few race meetings at the start of this year, and before with all the COVID and so forth, and no on-course broadcasters from Sky, so I got to call a few meetings over there. It is a beautiful spot to watch the races, and they've done a power of work with the track too. I know Tim, that they've really upgraded the surface and everything like that over the last sort of 12 months. So the racing is going to be really, the surface and the track itself is going to make some really good racing.
Yeah, absolutely. We over the last couple of seasons, we've been given dates through winter by Harness Racing New South Wales, so we've had to sort of turn the track into an all year-round surface, and we've sort of lost a few meetings during winter to sort of amounts of rain that we shouldn't be losing meetings to. So as a committee last year, we decided to press on and get it recambered, and then we put nearly 700 tonne of blue metal on it. That's out of a quarry just at Colcan, so it worked out really affordable. And we've had the last couple of meetings during winter. There was one, I think the first meeting after we got the track done, we had about 60 mil in 7 days leading up, and it was perfect. So the proof's in the pudding. So yeah, rain, hail or shine, we'll be going around New Year's Eve, and just hoping for a really good crowd and some great racing.
How much camber did you put on, Timmy?
So initially when it was done, which was probably 20 years ago, it said that it was 9 degrees in the straights and 9 on the corners and 5 degree in the straights. Anyway, when we got the big laser grader in with all the GPS and whatnot, it had got down to below 5 degrees on the corners and 1 degree in the straight. So look, my father-in-law had horses in there at the last meeting, Ray Walker, and he didn't drive on it, but he just standing on the outside of the track, he said, "Oh, gee, you can really notice how much more of a camber you've got on it." And yeah, like driving on it, they're definitely getting around it a lot easier.
Is that I don't want to make it political, but is that just some potentially people just a little bit asleep at the wheel maybe and didn't realise what was going on, or is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of wear and tear over time, and probably not putting the laser levels on it. which is pretty important. We all know, like I know when I did, even when I built my track out at the farm, it was all done by laser levels. So, I mean, the eye can be deceiving sometimes, and when you've got puddles of water sitting in, the back straight, well, there's obviously not enough camber on it for the water to run off. So Cartwright Civil has come on as a sponsor, and they come in and do the track 3 or 4 times a year. So it's getting done again on the 27th of December, where they'll move a bit of the bluestone back up that's sort of come down the Canberra a bit, and it'll be perfect for our biggest meeting of the year.
Timmy, I used to sort of say it was a Coliseum of death, but I used to love racing there. The one thing about it is always competitive racing, no matter what time of year it is. I've been to the New Year's Eve meeting, I've driven on it, and I've hung around afterwards. It's just a ripper meeting that you got coming up, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's just great, and we're so lucky that we have been able to keep that date for a long period of time, and it really is what we build our club around is New Year's Eve. Like a lot of clubs financially do it pretty tough, but we, we've got that in the back pocket that we can really fall back on, and it's also just sort of geographically, even where the track is, where it sits in Albury, it's in sort of suburbs like North Albury and Lavington, which, there's families, lots of kids. So, New Year's Eve's just awesome. We've got the lawns looking really good. So the kids, there'll be plenty for them to do and run around. And it's just great to get the families and the kids back involved. And hopefully, a few of them might enjoy just watching the horses and start to come to some of the other meetings during the year.
You're right, Daniel. No, you're right.
I was just going to... Yeah, you go.
You're right. You go.
No, I was just going to say about the program, and looking through the races that are programmed, you've really sort of you're catering for those lower class horses, which I guess is the bread and butter of Albury. You sort of get those lower ranked horses. You're not you're certainly not racing like for metropolitan class horses, but the races that are on, there's certainly a good spread of grade, so there's plenty of opportunity for participants to race on New Year's Eve with however many horses they've got in their stable. Yeah,
absolutely, and we've sort of learnt that over the last sort of 18 months. I've been doing the programming with Kevy Walsh, and one thing that we have realised that we do have to cater for the lower grade of horse, like the maidens, up to 40s, up to 45s. That's our bread and butter. You can sort of nearly guarantee that you're going to get two of each of those. So that gives you, six races straight up. And probably, we don't sort of try and program too much above the 60 or 65 for the paces. Our Carnival of Cups meeting on the 11th of February, we'll have a few higher grade races that night when the prize money's a lot better. But we just really want to, obviously a minimum of 6 races, but we'd love to see 8 races on New Year's Eve. And the crowd that's there, they're not overly concerned about the quality of horse, as long as they've got something to have a look at, have a bit of a punt on, and just get them through the gate. And we're trying a bit of a novelty this year with our maiden. We're hoping to make it the last race of the night, and it's preference is given to horses that have had the most starts without winning a race. So we can't sort of cater for the top end, so we're going to hope to turn that into a bit of a feature of New Year's Eve going forward. We're actually just coming up with a name for it at the moment, so if anyone out there's got some ideas, we'd love to hear them.
The Humbletonian's a full day here now. I think they said it's been going about 10 years. It started off as one race, so look out, Timmy. You might open up a can of worms. You won't be able to stop, mate.
No, that's right. So it's just a bit of a novelty, and I think if it can get us a bit of exposure in the local media, and it gives the battlers, everyone's had horses that are battlers. I've got a few at the moment, some of the worst horses I've ever had, but they've got to go around somewhere, so gives everyone a bit of a chance, and hopefully some people that don't earn much with their horses can earn $1 on the night.
It's you almost call it like the last chance,
Well,
or something along that line.
That's one of the ones being thrown up. So we've probably got until early next week to come up with it. So we've got a few things floating around that we can. We'll get it set in stone next week sometime.
We might be able to call it the Campbell's Comments Last Chance or something along those lines. I'll run with that. Did you like that, Daniel? I slipped that one in very quickly.
Yes, I did. You've very, very sly. Tim, I was actually speaking to Kevin Walsh at the trots at Cobram on Friday. You've had a really, really strong and positive sponsorship drive, which is seen the club pick up a lot of new sponsors and obviously retain the ones that you've got. But it sounds like you've done a really good job over the last few weeks, last month or so.
Oh, it has. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been, quite humbling that since we've sort of, taken over the club a bit, we've really, really focused on our sponsorship. It's something that we probably think, has been a bit lacking over the last few years. And I think, one of our vice presidents, Jade Clements, he's done a power of work with the sponsorship, and he just sent me through a spreadsheet today. So our sponsorship's gone from around 14,000, which one sponsor was paying 10,000 of that 2 seasons ago. So prior to COVID, it's up to 25,000 already. That's just in about the last 6 or 8 weeks. And we've signed up the sponsors that we had, and we've also made a big focus of chasing sponsors, not solely just, to hang their sign in the back straight. We want sponsors that are actually going to come to the trots and enjoy it. So some of the ones we've got, Hard As Concrete, who it's run by a fellow called Tommy Gemmell, who owns quite a few horses with Pete Ramiro. So he's come on board. Soden's Hotel, Piney Range Shearing, who it's run by Benny Shield, who's had horses with myself and Johnny Scott. And then Cobbity Equine have come on board, Luke and Belinda. They put the big sign up in the back straight, and they've given us 2 service fees, one to Bling It On and one to For a Reason, that we'll use at our Carnival of Cups meeting. And we're probably going to use those because in the last sort of few years we've struggled for our Oaks and our Derby to stand up. So we're going to put those on our Oaks and Derby, but instead of them going to the winner, we're going to raffle them between all acceptors in that race. So you could have 100 to 1 pop in the String of Pearls or the Derby, and we'll raffle those service fees, and you might run last, but it's better than the winner that goes around $1.10 or $1.20. I mean, they're not going to. Everyone needs to get a bit of benefit. So Belinda and Luke have been terrific with that, and we're also going to. We've rebranded the back straight, the Bling It On back straight, so that will. So hopefully the race callers can give Bling It On and Cobbity Equine a bit of a plug, and move from there.
Could I just say, well done. Think outside the square. Do something different. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's I love that idea. It's good that studs come on board and all the rest, but I think I reckon that's one, novel, and two, so well done. You say about Bling It On, let's give them a rap, because they are flying. I think he had another winner on Friday, so they just keep winning races everywhere.
They're amazing. Belinda works a bit. I think I'm his biggest fan. I think we've bred another 3 of them this year. They're just so nice to do anything with. They're great types, and he's a hit as any of the stallions that come out. So, and For a Reason also, they're just doing a great job, and I'm just massive on supporting those colonial stallions because they're just such great value, and our horses are as good as any horses in the world. So we've really got to. I think we've just really got to, push to support those colonial horses like Courage Under Fire, Christian Cullen. They did great jobs. There's no reason these horses coming through now can't do a very similar job.
No, don't. Very well said. And you've also got a hat on. You forgot the one with the hat on, which is close to my heart. Don't you worry about that. You're catering for the trotters as well.
Absolutely. So we've got a trot on New Year's Eve because we're hoping to get, plenty of Victorians up here. So it's an up to 60 with a dual claim. So anyone that's got a trotter reckons they can get around the half-mile track, bring it up. Aldebaran Park came on board last year and we ran our first Trotters Cup in close to 20 years. So they gave us a service fee to Sky Valley. So we had, I think it was only a 7 or 8 horse field, but that's something we want to build on moving forward also. So I think the proof is in the pudding there that service fee really helped us get that off the ground. So that's why, it's been a bit of a focus of us as a committee to really focus on the breeding side of it because, well, I know how expensive it is to breed horses, and there's quite a few young people on the committee with me, like similar age to me, that also, breed a horse, and when you've got a family, it's hard to find, your 4,000 or 6,000, pull out of your savings. So, yeah, I think the proof was in the pudding last year with the Trotters Cup standing up that we're going to go down that path again.
You say there about your committee too, and I know Daniel's on a committee. I'm not. I used to be on one, but I just don't have the time to now. But you've got a new and a young committee too, which must be terrific to drive new ideas, I suppose, and new ways of thinking.
Oh, it is, and also I think of great importance is I think 14 of the 15 committee members actually own a share in at least one horse. So we're invested in the sport. Our president, who's been my lifelong best mate, Paul Brown, he works full time in a big butcher shop in Albury, but he has always I've actually got a broodmare out here that I've got to scan in the next couple of days, and it's gone in folder for a reason. So he's hugely invested. Kevin Walsh, who stayed on as vice president, he's just been amazing. He's really probably pushed us younger guys to, step up and have a bit of a go. And we're so grateful that Kevy's sort of supported us and pushed us really, because it's been really enjoyable. And then also he's, heavily invested, not just with his bookmaking, but owning horses. And he just loves the industry, loves Albury Harness Racing, and he's really happy with some new ideas. And hopefully we can move forwards and maintain the success it's had.
On the night, Tim, you've got fireworks. You said to me off air, the only fireworks in Albury for New Year's night. I think you have a little bit of time to get the horses off the track, and then after that, it's just basically party time, isn't it, at Albury?
So our last race is programmed for about 25 minutes past 10. So there's a good block of time there for the horses to get off course. And then, the party really starts then. The fireworks are amazing. Like, we've had people say that they're as good as any of the Metropolitan fireworks. They go for about 20 minutes. They're run by a company in Melbourne called Airwise, and they're amazing. So, like, that's the main feature of the night. That's what everyone comes to see. And it's great that everyone hangs around, and the behaviour's always, superb. And, it's great. Great atmosphere to usher in the new year, that's for sure.
Daniel, did you have anything else for Tim?
No, that's about all from me. I mean, it's an amazing night. It is it's not Cup night, but it's pretty much on the same level as Cup night for Albury, and it's the basically, I think it's the biggest earner for the year in terms of people on course, and all the other community clubs that do all the food and stuff like that. So it's a massive night, and from talking to Kev at Cobram the other day, things are really on the up for Albury, which is great to see, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. Nom's closed. Timmy, when did Nom's close before I'll let you sign off, mate?
So Nom's closed on the 29th, which is the Wednesday, so it doesn't really leave us much time for any extensions or anything. But I've put a bit of a database together, so I'll be getting the meeting program out to as many Victorians as I can in the next sort of 3 or 4 days. I've just gone through Harness Web and rounded up as many Victorian email addresses as I can, so I'll get that out. Closes on the 29th.
Yep, very good. And when do the fields get drawn, on the Wednesday as well?
That'll be the same day, yep, 4 o'clock that afternoon.
So we'll be live on Loose Lines, but we'll give the meeting a wrapper anyway. There's no problems there at all, but we can't really push the extended noms. So we want to make sure that people do get there. I'm sure there's going to be some people have some fun with Daniel's feed. There at one stage, Tim, he come really good, did you notice? Now he's back looking like the ghost again.
Now he's gone backwards.
He's going to watch this in a minute, and he's going to be thinking, well, what has he done to me?
I don't know what's going on. I know I can see my screen's flashing, so I don't know what's going on.
There is something going on. Quickly, Daniel, Mildura tonight, mate. What's our bests?
Unfortunately, the best bet that I put out this morning is in the last race, so it's at like 11:05 tonight. So it is a long time to wait, but it's probably the best that I could find. I am a bit of a Mildura novice when it comes to the form a lot of the time, because you don't sort of see, you don't dedicate the time to all of the horses up here as much as other people. But I thought Pinnacle Hope would win the last race. I know it's about $1.80 or $1.90 on the fixed odds, but I just think it'll probably win the last race. And the best value I thought was race 10, number 10, Miss Twinkle. It's about $6 or something like that. So they were the two that I sort of like. But it's it's actually a pretty competitive card. Bernie Winkle's going around the free for all against Cruz, and that'll be probably the highlight race of the night. But again, it's much like Albury. They cater for the lower class horses up here at Mildura, and they could have, the nominations that they got for this meeting, they could have run another 6 races. So it goes to show how many horses are up this way and of that class. So you've got to cater for the horses that you've got in the area, and that's what they do up here. And it's going to be a pretty competitive night, as it always is.
Be good for you, Timmy, if you could get the same sort of crowds as what Mildura get.
Oh, yeah, and in saying that, I love watching Mildura races. You can't beat it. Love it.
You ever driven there?
Yeah, I did as a junior. I used to take a few trips up there. Yeah, long way, but I loved it.
It's very similar to Albury in a way. It's
very similar.
Very similar indeed. Yeah. Tim, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to Albury. Make sure everyone's aware that the noms do close on the Wednesday, so we want to make sure everyone and the fields are done, so be aware of it. But the Albury Harness Racing Club having a crack. We'll give the meeting a big wrap up for you, but we want to make sure that people watch this and get involved. For Albury Harness Racing Club, as I said, noms close on Wednesday. Timmy's going to email. We're going to get a lot of spam email from Tim over the next few days, but that's
check your junk mail.
That's forward. That's forward thinking, Timmy, and that's exactly what we want. So well done to you, mate, and thank you very much for reaching out for us and asking us to help you. That's what we're here for. We want to promote as many clubs and ideas that people have got going on out there, mate. So well done to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thanks, Daniel. It's greatly appreciated. Something like this that can get to a lot of people. And I'll just add one thing. If any of the Victorians want to come up and stay the night, need somewhere for their horse to stay or whatever, just give myself or Paul Brown a ring, and we'll make sure that we've got a stable and a bed. And, if you can bring some horses, we'll make sure that you're well looked after.
Has country hospitality at its best. Tim Doherty, thank you very much. And Daniel, good calling tonight at Mildura, mate.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, looking forward to it.